From the UC Health Training Center, welcome to Training Camp Live, powered by Ford. Brought to you by Betfred, Bud Light Seltzer, Ford, and by USAA.
We've reached the end of Broncos training camp, day 17, and on the final day, we've traded sunshine for sunset and the bright lights of Empower Field at Mile High for a night practice. This is the last chance to make it for some of these guys on the field, so we need grit, we need determination, and we need to see some reliability on the final night. So who better to bring on than former Broncos running back Reggie Rivers, one of the most dependable in Broncos history. He's joining Steve Atwater down on the south stage in the south end zone. Welcome in to Empower Field at Mile High, everyone. Oh, it feels good to say that. This is Broncos Training Camp Live, powered by Ford. I'm Matt Boyer. Sidney Jones, Phil Milani, Steve Atwater, and Reggie Rivers will be along in just a moment. A couple of quick notes to get to about tonight's practice. Of course, Vic Fangio moving practice to the evening in order to better simulate the game-type atmosphere that the Broncos are going to see 10 days from now. He wants to get the DBs and the wide receivers under the lights, get his guys more familiar with this building. As I mentioned, we're only 10 days away from the opening night. Another move today, or another trade to get to. We saw the first one with Isaac Gadam earlier this week, and today the Broncos announced they traded Christian Covington to Cincinnati. The Bengals trading back Austin Calitro, the linebacker, a hard-nosed linebacker that, according to Mike Kliss, the Broncos tried to sign or tried to pick up in previous years off waivers, were unsuccessful. They get him here right before the start of week one, and that means the linebacker room is going to shuffle a little bit, and Todd Davis gets released by the Broncos. Davis, of course, the leading tackler 3 out of the last 4 years. The Broncos won a Super Bowl with Davis, so Davis, a stalwart in the community as well as on the field. He will be missed. However, that linebackers room will look a little bit differently heading into the 2020 season, as it seems like Alexander Johnson is going to be your 3-down linebacker as we head into the game against the Tennessee Titans. Hey, Broncos Country, this field looks a little different without fans, doesn't it? I mean, a little bit more empty, but if you want to get involved and fill this lower bowl or help us fill this lower bowl, we have a way for you to do that. The Denver Broncos are offering you the opportunity for $100 with all money going towards Broncos charities. Take a picture of yourself, go to the website, denverbroncos.com/cutouts, pay the $100, and you can be in the lower bowl in cardboard form. That money's going to go to a lot of great charities supporting folks during this COVID-19 pandemic. So the next best thing to being here, of course, is helping out the Broncos charities as well as getting yourself here in cardboard form. We have no time to waste tonight, so let's head down to the south end zone stage where Steve Atwater is standing by with Reggie Rivers. As I mentioned at the top, one of the most dependable, gritty players in Broncos history, a running back, a special teams captain. Steve, you began training camp with a former teammate, and you're ending training camp with a former teammate, and you got a good one there, number 38.
Yes, we're brothers. Reggie,
yes.
Thank you for joining me. Matt, thank you for the intro there.
Yeah, and I'm not really here, Steve. I donated $100, and I am a cardboard cutout. This could be you if you donate $100 to Broncos charities.
Right, that's a very good call. Are you gonna get a cutout of you?
Of course.
Gonna be which one is gonna be, the old you or the?
It's gonna have to be the old me. They don't have that much cardboard.
Nah, man, you're looking good. You're looking good. So Reggie, man, Todd Davis, a guy who has been with the team for several years, a captain. Today was his last day with the Broncos. He got released. What was your reaction when you heard that he was released?
Yeah, this is the game. It's tough, but these are the good players are the ones who get traded often, and sometimes players just get released. You feel like you're in the prime of your career, but there's all this competition. There's all these other decisions that are being made, and it's not just your position all the time. He's a linebacker, but they're looking at how many linebackers do we have, how many defensive linemen, how many cornerbacks, how many safeties, and it's tough. This is the time of year where you get surprises.
Yeah, it's sad. I mean, I won't say sad because I'm sure Todd will go on and he'll have a career elsewhere. But, when you have guys that's been with the team for a while, you like to see things work out. But, he'd been injured during training camp. And I think Coach Fangio wants to go a different route to, get some guys maybe a little bit younger and give those guys an opportunity.
Younger. That's the thing, man. It hurts your feelings when you're playing, your career is going great, and then here comes this younger guy. He
like,
just
why?
looks just young. He looks fit. Body fat's 8%. Just like, what does this kid know? Yeah, everybody's got to go. The young guys are coming.
Yeah. And then Isaac Adams, a few days ago, traded to the New York Giants for a 7th-round pick in the 2021 draft. And I can't say that I was surprised by that. There was a lot of competition in that cornerbacks room. And Isaac Adams, although he did get some run with the ones here and there, it just wasn't enough. And I think just the competition was stiff. So I think it's going to be a good move for both the Broncos and for Isaac Adams to go to a team where, they have a little less depth and he'll have an opportunity to make a difference there.
Yes, probably. I mean, a team that trades for him in the training camp, like we're here today with a roster of almost 80 guys. They've got to cut down to 53 tomorrow. And so this is a time when teams are getting rid of players. So if a team is trading for you, that's got to feel good for you. And then the Broncos get a 7th-round pick for a guy who maybe wasn't going to be starting here.
So, but the thing is, though, I mean, with it, this late in the process, I mean, cuts are Saturday, tomorrow. Teams are trimming down to 53 on the for the active roster, and then they're going to have 16 players on the practice. 16 Woo. On the practice squad. 6 of those players can be veterans. I mean, how can a new guy come in and get up to speed that quickly? I mean, just like we traded Christian Covington to Cincinnati for Austin Calitro, linebacker, had played a little bit in Seattle. And so Austin Calitro, how does he learn this defense that quickly? And also the linebacker that we just signed the other day last week, Mark Barron. How do those guys come in and learn the defense so quickly?
Well, one, they don't. I mean, that's the reality. When you join this late in the game, you're not gonna know the defense next week. But I think that the coaches are looking for what's the talent set that this guy brings to the ability. What's his motor? What's his history? What does he do that we need? And then you trust that over the next few weeks, you're going to use him in limited ways. You can teach him part of the defense and put him out there in limited ways, and then he's going to catch on pretty quickly. And I think you're looking for fits mostly, not necessarily knowledge.
Yeah. And I think Mark Barron, he's a hitter. I mean, I watched some film of him when he was an Alabama alumni, same as Kareem Jackson, and he played safety in college. Came out as a safety. I think he was 6th or 7th pick in the draft. High draft pick. Moved to the linebacker position, but he still has those instincts. He's a big hitter.
Right. And I love the way that when you're talking about the defense, when you say he was a safety, I mean, you're saying that he was a safety, like he was a king of the universe, like he was the master of everything. He was at the top of the heap, and now he's a linebacker.
No. It wasn't like that. But making that adjustment, I think that adjustment could be kind of difficult for a lot of people going from safety to linebacker, especially with the physicality.
I'm just saying, listen, you're a Hall of Fame safety. I understand. You love the position. But linebackers are okay, too. Just for everybody at home who's playing at home, I don't mean to denigrate any linebackers, but linebackers are the dumbest people on the field. It's just this. It's a demonstrated fact. It's unfortunate. If you have a small child and you're trying to figure out what position he's going to play later in life, you watch a kindergarten playground. You're looking for the kid who runs into an inanimate object and then laughs about it. And I'm not talking about the tricycle that Becky left there 5 minutes ago. I'm talking about the building that's been there for 75 years. That's a future linebacker.
That's a linebacker.
That's a future linebacker.
You weren't a linebacker.
I was not a linebacker. I was a fullback. My clientele were linebackers.
Okay.
I had to deal with, these people, I would meet a guy, like we'd be out on the field pregame, and I'd see the guy. This is the guy I'm going to be blocking all game long. And he would look at me and he'd say, "We going to die today, brother." Yeah. And I'd be like, No, we're not. No, we're not.
It's okay.
Listen.
It's not that serious.
Yeah. Hey, this is a game. What are you talking about? Your mama doesn't want you to die. What are you talking about? Let's have a conversation.
So, how difficult was it to block linebackers as a running back?
It's tough.
We saw some of the running back drills where they were blocking linebackers one-on-one, They may have to be one of the toughest drills that you guys did.
Oh, yeah, that is a tough drill. The one-on-one drill, you know, the linebackers are the running backs of the defense. You know, we're on the offensive side, we're trying to find the holes and avoid contact, and the linebackers, they're trying to find a hole and avoid contact. They don't want to hit anybody until they hit you. And so they're trying, and they have the same elusiveness, and they're reading the flow of the play the same way. And so it's tough when you've got to block a blitzing linebacker. That's a tough job. It's a lot easier when it's an interior blitz because they're kind of funneled into you by the offensive lineman. When they're coming off the edge and you've got space to deal with, can you imagine a running back trying to block a Von Miller on the edge?
No.
I used to have to block Junior Seau on the edge, and I would be like, Coach, you understand there's a talent deficit here, right?
He never got by you, though, did he? Next question.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
Hey, the players are going into the locker room. They're treating this like a game-day situation where they come out for pregame, then go back in. What normally happens when guys go in the locker room after they warm up?
You know what? It goes by quickly. Whether they're like 19 minutes away from the start of this thing, so they'll go in, use the restroom, they'll sit in their locker, they'll put tape on their hands and listen to music. Some of them.
More music.
Okay. More music, and you know, it's just a little bit quiet time. There's not a whole bunch of, you know, people think there's all these rah-rah speeches all the time. And, you know, this is a professional environment. These are professional players. They know how to get themselves ready to play. Coaches don't come out, you know, like, hey, all right, you got to do it today. You know, coaches come by, they make quiet comments. You have any questions? You remember what you're going to do on that one play and when we're in that formation. And then before you know it, it's time to come back out.
Yeah. What was your routine? What did you do?
My routine, I could not compartmentalize enough to not be intense. Mm-hmm. Like some guys, like you're the smiling assassin. So you could be on the sideline, hey man, how you doing? And in a good mood. And then 2 seconds later, be on the field blowing somebody up. I didn't have that gear. I had to be in a bad mood in order to play. And so
you should be upset the whole game.
I had to be. I had to get myself like in a down mood and a bad mood, and I'm going to go out there and hit these guys. And so when I was in my routine, I was quiet. I didn't talk to anybody. I was kind of, you know, somber and just kind of get myself there.
You didn't your head up against the wall, or you didn't do anything crazy like that?
No, I'm not a linebacker.
Those guys do that, huh? I like it. Oh, man.
What about you? What was your routine?
Oh, I would come back in, listen to some music, listen to a little bit of Tupac Shakur or LL Cool J. Mama said, knock you out.
Yeah.
And just, you know, relax and get ready to do it. Got to get in the zone.
Can I tell a Steve Atwater story?
Go ahead.
Do we have time for that?
I don't know if I've heard this before.
Listen, Steve Atwater, people ask me all the time, Reggie, who hit you the hardest in your NFL career? And they always think it's like Ronnie Lott or Junior Seau. And it was Steve Atwater. It was during my rookie training camp up in Greeley. We had a scrimmage, a lot like they're going to have tonight. It was the ones against the twos. You were obviously a one. I was a two. I remember coming through a hole, and all I saw was daylight. But Steve was coming kind of at an angle to that hole. He was blocked to my vision. He comes across, and he just threw a flipper. And it's kind of like the Christian Okoye hit, where you hit him and you threw that flipper. With him, you knocked him down. With me, you almost ended my career.
No, I did not.
He hit me. I was on the sideline. Honest to God, Steve, I was thinking, I don't know if I can play this game.
No way.
I was doubting whether I was tough enough to play in the NFL. I thought, this is a scrimmage in training camp. How am I going to handle the real hits in the game? It turned out that was the hardest hit of my whole career.
No way.
Yes.
Wait, man, congrats.
Yeah.
You made it. All right. Hey, we're going to toss it over. Great stuff, Reggie. We're going to toss it over to Phil Milani, who's Wade Harmon right now. Tight ends coach. Wade Harmon.
Steve, thank you very much. Wade, what kind of work do you want to get out here today being in the stadium?
Well, we're going to do a lot of, it's not scripted, so they're going to get a chance to hear the plays in the huddle, come out, line up, execute against the defense. They don't know, not sure what it's going to be. So that's the biggest thing is just the procedure, get in and out of huddle, changing personnel groups, executing plays that are not scripted. They'll have a game plan, but just to hear it for the first time when they're out there, they can't be studying on the sideline or before practice. And, just get in and out of the huddle, execute, and, play smart and play hard.
The season opener is going to be here before you know it. We heard from Noah Fant earlier in training camp. He said this year he hopes to take a big step in his game, be considered among the elite tight ends in this league. What have you seen from him in camp?
Well, I know he came back in really good shape. You know, he put some muscle on in the offseason. Not that he was small or anything, but you could tell he's did a lot of work physically in the offseason, and he's done a great job mentally as well. You know, usually the second-year guys, that's usually have the chance for their biggest growth. And that first year, man, you got everything thrown at you. You're trying to learn, trying to line up and do all this stuff. You know, that second year, I think you come into training camp, you kind of know things a little bit. You've been through the process. You know the people. You know the stadium. You know all that stuff. I think it really has a chance to have a really good second year.
Have you seen some of that first-year stuff from Albert O?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You know, first-year guys, they kind of go through the same things. I mean, you try to help them through it, but a lot of those things you just have to experience. And he's definitely experienced them, but he's making some good strides as well.
I was going to say he's been one of the stars of camp. I mean, what makes him special out there?
Well, he's got a unique skill set. I mean, he's a big guy that can really run. He's fast. He's got good hands and tracks the ball really well. You know, so those things, you know, transfer all the time. It's just learning all the other stuff, when to do what and where to line up and how to block, and all those things are you know, take the more time. But you know, about catching the ball and running routes, you know, he's got a real good feel for that.
I know how I feel personally. I know how the fans feel. Are you ready to get this thing going?
I'm excited for it. You know, I missed some, you know, preseason games, seeing the young guys go, but I'm excited that get a chance to get on the field with the guys and start playing games.
Wade, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Let's toss things over to Sydney Jones.
Thanks for that, Phil. Now, Broncos fans, if you're just now tuning in, we are doing social media giveaways on our live show every single day. And today is the last day of our live show, which means we have one more prize. But first, we must announce the winner of yesterday's prize, which was a practice-worn jersey signed by Royce Freeman. And the winner of that is Christina Martez, or otherwise known as Orange Crushtina. I love the name, Christina. Congratulations. And Broncos fans, if you haven't won yet, no worries. Like I said, we have one more to give away. And today's prize is a practice-worn jersey signed by Dalton Reisner. Now, if you want to be selected for this prize, you must text the words "for jersey" to 39970. All right, Broncos fans, we have been showing you training camp through the eyes of the players every single day on our Broncos Camp Confessional series. And now it's time to give you the best of our confessionals. Take a listen.
Hi, I'm Von Miller, and welcome to my camp confession.
Cheers truly, Brad McManus.
Hey, Broncos Country, this is Gerald Casey, your defensive tackle. Hey, let's go, camp confessions.
Well, no one really came across the middle. I had one opportunity, and that's when Tim Patrick came across the middle, and I was just about to go ahead and put my hands on him, and then that's when Von called me off because he was right there, so I backed up and tried to get to another coverage spot. But they know better than to be creeping across that middle.
I just have a bigger focus now, and you know, partly that is because I have a baby boy at home, a beautiful baby boy, and it just brings a lot more to my life. And I know that, you know, this football stuff, it comes and goes. All it takes is one cut, and you're sitting there, you know, on the outside looking in. So I don't take anything for granted.
That last year, you know, I got thrown in the fire pretty quick and was expected to come in and play right away. And, you know, I competed my butt off all year and I worked my tail off. And, you know, this year, going into year two, I'm focusing a lot more on my technique, how to become a better player and make the game, you know, feel a little bit slower.
I threw a flag out near towards Coach Vick's feet on the one play. There was a false start or offsides, close call. And he looked at the flag, he's like, wow, where'd this ref come from? And he stared at me. And I think it's the first time we've ever seen Vic Fangio smile.
The biggest thing is, like you said, just putting in the work. Been out there showing them that you're dedicated to it, on the field and off the field. So just bringing the things that we have done a little bit in Asheville off the field, bringing it here, getting guys involved in those type of situations, and then continue to do the work we do with the Casey Farm is definitely how I intend to, you know, show these guys what it looks like to be a leader on this team and also a leader out in the field.
Anything that I'm going to do it right now. Anything that I have in store for me in my career, any highs that I have to accomplish, I got to go get them right now. So every day I'm driven. You know, every day I'm driven to go out there and practice and compete as hard as I possibly can, and leave my mark, leave my legacy. Because 10 years in, it's like, you know, what else is there? You know, what else is there for me to do? I want to go out there and I want to push myself as hard as I can. And whenever I'm going, I want these guys to talk great stories about me like they do about John Elway and Peyton Manning. I want these guys to, talk about me like that as well. So I got to go out and leave my mark. I got to go out there and give it all I got.
Thank you guys so much for watching my camp confession.
Thanks for watching my Broncos Camp confession.
Now I know training camp has been a lot different this year with all of you being at home and not getting to see some of your favorite Broncos in person, but you all have been doing a great job cheering the guys on from afar and welcoming them out onto the field every single day on our virtual fan cam. Take a listen to what you all had to say today.
Yes, you guys.
Now with COVID-19 this year, the school year is looking a lot different than what most students are used to. But to help, the Broncos are still doing their Back to Learning program. The Broncos have partnered with Volunteers of America, King Soopers, and 9 News to help fundraise and distribute school supplies to different school districts, families, and students all across the state of Colorado. For more information on that, you can visit the website that is shown on your screen. All right, Broncos fans, we're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere because when we come back, you'll be joined again by Steve Atwater and Reggie Rivers.
Training Camp Live, powered by Ford, is brought to you by BetMGM, Bud Light, UC Health, and by U.S. Bank.
All right, welcome back to Training Camp Live, powered by Ford. My special guest, Mr. Reggie Rivers. Reggie, let's talk special teams.
Yes, sir.
We hadn't talked special teams much during camp. Special teams coach Tom McMahon. We got a new punter, Sam Martin, signed with us from the Detroit Lions, and we have a new long snapper, a rookie from Northern Colorado. How important are special teams? Some people just think special teams, oh man, this play after the 3 plays, if they don't get a first down and they come in and punt or kick off before the game, they don't think it's important. How important are special teams?
Well, as a man who played mostly special teams my whole career, special teams are really important. It's the third phase of the game. These are the biggest changes of field position in the game. A punt goes 50 yards. That's 50 yards of field position that's changing hands. And so, it's really important. And the tough thing for the special teams coach, I think, is that A, you don't get as much time as the offensive or the defensive coaches get with the players, and B, you're mostly dealing with a population of players who don't know how to play special teams except for the returners. The returners, they were probably returners in high school and college, but in high school and college, most of these guys, they were starters on offense and defense. How much special teams did you play in the NFL, Steve, in your NFL career?
Punt team, kickoff team.
You played a lot of?
Yes.
Well, in the height of your career?
Well, I mean, after I started for a couple of years, but my first 2 or 3 years, punt team.
Okay, but once you became a starter, you're not on special teams
I started
anymore.
my rookie year.
Okay, once you became
what?
Steve Atwater.
I still had to play on the ball. I still was second team punt team.
Okay,
nah.
Wait, you're kind of ruining my point.
Exactly.
I was trying to make a point.
Exactly.
But most of these guys come out of college, they didn't run down on kickoffs in college. They weren't on the blocking side, and so the special teams coach has to train all of these players how to play special teams when they never did it before, and they're not that interested, right? They really want to be starters on offense and defense. They look at special teams as like the waiting room at the dentist's office. Like nobody really wants to be there.
But do we even, like the players at the back end of the roster, guys who aren't starting, do they look at it like that too?
No, those players, like that's where I was. Special teams was bread and butter. This is like, please give me as many as I can.
Right.
Oh, we got another punt. Hallelujah! I'm glad the offense is sputtering. I get another play.
Got to show what you got.
Yeah, show them what you got.
Oh man. So, what drives the special teams coach? I mean, what did players do, or what things happen on the field where the special teams coach would lose it?
Oh, there's a lot of things special teams players do. If I had to make one thing, I would say lanes. So staying in their lanes. If you're a special teams coach and you're talking to your special teams players, you spend all of your time saying, hey, 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 you've got contained. Don't come inside there. Stay outside. You've got contained. Hey, what are you doing? Why are you running right behind one of your teammates? Move out to the right. Hey, why did you dive underneath that blocker? Go outside. All they talk about, and so many of the defensive players kind of get it. The offensive players, you got wide receivers are running down on kickoffs and punts.
Oh, yeah.
You got running backs, and we're not that lane conscious. And that's not how we think of things. And so I would say if you had to pick one thing, that's the bane of the special teams coach.
You know what I thought you would say? I thought you would say when they're yelling on the sideline, it's third down, punt, get ready, and then everybody runs on the field and you got 10 guys on the field.
That's true. That bothers them too. You remember Richard Smith, special teams coach.
Oh, yeah.
What I loved about Richard Smith could make up new words on the spot to explain.
Out-athlete him.
Yeah, you got to – it's pathetical. This is ferocious. You've got to out-athleticize the guy. Look at you. You're running down the field. You're oblivious.
Right. You don't know what the heck is going on. Oh, man. Now, Drew Lock.
Yes,
Let's talk about Drew Lock a little bit.
He's a quarterback.
Yeah, we know that, and a very good one at that. What does Drew Lock need to do to show the coaches this year that he is the guy? I think he's the guy.
I think he's the guy, too. Let's get some facts on the table. So, Drew Lock, this is second year in the NFL.
Yes.
He's going to be the starting quarterback.
Yes.
The other guys that he's competing with are not competing to be the starting quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so those
is that good?
Yeah, well, it's neither here nor there.
Well, Peyton Manning, he said those other guys are there to support the starting quarterback, not necessarily to push him for his starting position. So you heard from a Hall of Famer.
In general, I think everybody benefits from competition. But you don't have a competitive situation. So this is the reality. The coaches have to know this is our guy. He's a second-year guy. What do we expect of him? We don't expect him to be Tom Brady. I think that's where you start with. It's like he doesn't have to go out there and be a top 10 quarterback. I think a successful year from him would be to be in the top half of quarterbacks in his quarterback rating, in touchdowns, in interceptions, in sacks. Because if he's doing that, and then he has to show some flashes of brilliance, there got to be some plays he makes along the year that show you the level of talent that he has. And then you really want to look at how does he respond to the inevitable mistakes. Peyton Manning, you mentioned him. He led the league in interceptions his rookie year, but when you watch Peyton, what did he do after that interception? Like, how did he respond to it? Did he go in the tank? Did he learn from it? What was the next play after that? And I think that's what you want to watch with Drew Lock. He's a young quarterback. He's going to make some mistakes, and you just have to wait and see what's he look like afterward.
Right. Well, how poorly would he have to play for the coach to say, look, man, he can't do it? Would it be the record, or would it be more, how many interceptions? If he throws 50 interceptions, it's not going to happen.
No, I think it's more like I can't imagine him playing poorly enough this year for the coaches to give up on
make decisions.
Even if he had a terrible year, but he would really have to lose his confidence. I think he seems like a pretty composed guy. He's going to make mistakes. He's a young quarterback. These defenders are smart. They're clever. They're going to fool him a lot. He's going to throw interceptions. He's going to get sacked. He's going to throw into bad situations. But how does he handle it? And what we saw from him last year, he seems to be like a very calm, composed young man. And so I just can't see him doing something that would cause the coaches to lose confidence in him.
Yeah, I agree. And as you know, we can see the plays out here, but guess what? Everyone back at home can't see the plays, and guess why?
Secretive.
Not only that, we're ready to play a game in just over a week. The first Monday night game of the season.
Yeah.
Monday, September 14th against the Tennessee Titans. And guess what? We don't want the Titans. There may be some Titans out here.
Yep.
Watching and spying.
Isn't it how interesting this is? So we've gone from a normal environment where training camp is open. Anybody can come out and watch. We have 4 or 5 preseason games where everybody can watch. Now, because of the secretiveness across the league, they don't even want their one practice to be seen by anybody because it's a competitive advantage because nobody has seen anything yet.
Yeah, well, I think the reason why we're not having people coming to practice because of the COVID situation still more so than not wanting people to see it. But the reason why we're not showing it on television is, because nobody can come out here and have a camera.
Correct, yeah.
Except for you, you got yours.
Well, you guys have some cameras. Look at it. We're in front of one.
Yeah. All right, let's talk running backs a little bit.
Okay.
On that Monday, September 14th, Tennessee Titans, who will be the starting running back?
No, I told you, don't ask me that question.
No, man, come on.
Listen, I'm going to say Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon will be the starting running back, and
come on, man.
I love Philip Lindsay. Philip Lindsay.
Come on, man.
Local
See you,
boy.
buff.
Yes. 1,000-yard season.
Yes. 2 back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons.
Yes. The boy can play. Yes. Got the burners. Yes. But Melvin Gordon.
Why?
I just think he's a slightly bigger back.
He's bigger.
He's a slightly more versatile back. They're paying him $8 million. I don't know what they're paying Philip Lindsay, but money does matter. I remember in my career, I was in a situation where I was the starting fullback, and then they brought in Robert Del Pino.
Yeah.
And brought him in, and they were paying him 4 times as much as they were paying me, but he and I were competing for the starting job. Who won the starting job?
You?
No. It was Robert Del Pino.
Del Pino played fullback?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, but I think the money matters.
Yeah.
You don't sign a guy in free agency and pay him that much money and then expect him to come off the bench. And, they're both great players. I think they're going to complement each other well, but I think Melvin Gordon probably.
Now, and really, we know both running backs are going to play a significant amount of time. Does it really matter who's the starter? I mean, it may not matter for us, huh? It may matter.
Right. It's easy for us to stay. Exactly. But no, these guys are competitive. They are hungry. These are not guys who take second place easily. These are guys who want to be the stars. They want to be the starter. They want to get their name called out of the tunnel when they're introducing the stars. You can say, hey, Philip, we're going to give you just as many plays as Melvin. And that's not satisfying. I want to be the starter. I want you to pick me and say, I'm the guy.
Well, even if you guys get the equal number of carries.
Right. And you want that.
You want to run through the tunnel? Is that what it is?
Yeah, you want to run through the tunnel. I mean, come on. You don't know. You spent your whole career running out of the tunnel, right? Getting introduced. Yeah. You don't know how hungry, how thirsty the rest of us were.
I want to run through that tunnel.
Oh, I'm just parched over here. Dehydrated.
Oh, man. So what's a good number of running backs to have on the roster? Because we got Melvin Gordon, Philip Lindsay, Royce Freeman. I think he's a lock to make the roster.
Yeah.
And then we have Levante Bellamy, the rookie out of Western Michigan, who's been impressive. He's been getting a lot of reps in camp, too. Yeah. I would imagine if he doesn't make the active roster, they'll probably try to move him to the practice squad.
Yeah.
But is 3 running backs sufficient?
I think 3 running backs probably is sufficient, but it really depends on what you think about Levante Bellamy's chances of making it to your practice squad. If other teams had interest in him and they know that now he's been released and he's on their list, you don't want him to get plucked away. So
But if they pluck him away, they got to put him on active roster, right?
Yeah, well, they got to put him. That's true, but they might. They might. I mean, and so if you think he'll make it through, then I think you would cut him and put him on the practice squad. But if you don't, you would keep 4 running backs.
Yeah. Okay. You think 4 is enough? 4 is plenty.
Yeah, 4 in these days. Back when I was playing, it was 5 and 6.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but you had fullbacks in there.
Yeah, and Andrew Beck who's the tight end. He plays fullback as well, so he got kind of a dual responsibility there. I think that is going to help his cause as well.
Look at those defenders. I mean, and there's John Elway. You know what? John doesn't look any faster than back when I played with him.
He doesn't look any faster?
Not any faster.
No. Yeah, none of us look faster.
You don't think I look faster?
No. What was your 40 time?
4.59.
I bet I guarantee you. I bet I can get you now. I got a bad knee too. I think I can get you.
I guarantee you could get me.
Yeah, I can get you right now. Yeah. The fans, you guys out there, I understand. You want to see more. We're just showing the sidelines. Unfortunately, that's what we got to do. I wish you could be right here in my seat. I wish you could look out in the field and see the guys making plays, but we just can't do it.
Yeah.
But guess what? Monday night, tune in.
Yeah. Get to see the real deal.
It'll be the only game on that night. The only football game on that night.
That's right. And so the Broncos, they don't want their competition to see them practicing, so we can't show their plays. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, $100. You donate that to Broncos charities, your cardboard cutout can be sitting in the stadium watching the game that you're not able to watch. I mean, it's just...
Yeah, you can't put any cameras in there.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, it can only be cardboard. Yeah. Look at that.
Yes.
$100 to Broncos charities. There's a limited quantity, so I guess they're not going to make a full stadium of cardboard cutouts. Not 76,000 of them. Maybe it'll just be the bottom.
Depends on how much.
Yeah. Hey. That'd be cool. What's 76,000 times $100? Is that 7.6 million?
How about 760,000?
760,000? Is that right? No, I think there might be. I think it might be million. 7.6 million.
Come on, man, you crazy.
Put all those zeros in there.
Add,
man, you're halfway linebacker right now. Come on now. Oh, Mike Vrabel wants to know if we can do play-by-play. Here, let's give it a shot. I'll do the play-by-play.
Oh, you're right, Reggie.
Oh, 7.6 million.
Oh, dang.
I'll do the play-by-play. You do the color analyst, okay? Ready?
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, the Broncos we've got a TV timeout right now, and, Broncos are talking it over there. The offense is backed up. Drew stepping into the huddle now. He's wearing the blue jersey. All the rest of the offensive players are wearing the orange jerseys. The blue indicates the defense can't hit him, and I know that pisses them off. They just wish they could hit a quarterback, any quarterback. Oh, the snap, the handoff. Is that Melvin Gordon? Tackled, and they're not tackling to the ground. This is just a pretty good thump up there.
Yeah, they're making sure they're not taking guys to the ground. They don't want to get anyone injured in this final practice before cutdowns. But still got to get a little bit of thumping in there, but not taking them to the ground.
And so that's all they're doing. I'm not going to do play-by-play on too many plays. I don't want to get the Broncos upset with me, but here they are lined up again. Looks like they're going to pass, Steve. I just think, this looks like a passing play to me. They drop back. Nope, it's a handoff. Oh, look at the counter tray. The counter tray. Look at it. Does that just make people jealous that they can't see it? Or do you feel like you're watching a radio broadcast?
You're whetting their appetite.
I know.
Because they can see him run off the field and after the play, but they can't see him during the play.
So they don't actually – I could lie. Oh, this next play, ladies and gentlemen, this next play is not the truth. It is not going to be the truth about what's happening. All right, the Broncos break the huddle, and they come out. Look at this formation. They've got 7 guys on the right. Drop him back. He's going to throw it deep. This ball is going. And
touchdown.
Oh, look at that. It's a touchdown. Yes. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that's not the truth. Actually, it was a completed pass for about a 4-yard gain.
Yes, it didn't happen. Levante Bellamy there, 32. The running back, again, out of Western Michigan, speedster.
And there's a UFO in the sky. Looks like it's just about to land on the stadium. I wish you guys were here to see this. This is just the most amazing thing.
Got the camera on Von Miller. You like that hairdo?
No, but I like Von.
Do you like the coloring in the hair? Or was it kind of oranges?
Yeah. Listen, I like Von. If Von likes it, I love it.
There we go. Oh, nice run to the left.
Yeah, so these guys, I remember these games when you're at that last preseason game and final cuts are coming and you're trying to put your best foot forward. And I remember the intensity of that. You feel the pressure, but you also feel like, you know what, I just got to go out here and do my best. That's all I can do. And I hope my best is good enough, and if it's not, I can accept that.
Preseason games have fans.
That's true.
And you probably got hyped up a little bit more. How do you think these guys are feeling now with, we don't really have any crowd noise either.
It's not the same energy. The fans definitely matter. The fans make a big impact. They really push a lot of energy to the players. I know the players rely on that during the games, and it's going to be weird to play. And, we were talking about this before. I think the challenge might be harder on the coaches than it is the players because think about what coaches do. Coaches call a play. That play works.
Right.
The
crowd goes crazy.
Crowd goes crazy. The players celebrate. The players made the play, so they're celebrating. They're high-fiving each other. They don't typically go to the coach and say, "Coach, great call." The coach gets his feedback from the fans.
Like,
when
yes.
they're all cheering, the coach internally is like, "Yeah, I called that blitz and it worked," or "I called that play and we scored a touchdown." Now the coaches aren't going to have that fan affirmation, and it's one of the few affirmations that they get.
Well, they also, if they call a bad one, they won't hear the boos.
That's true. That's true.
It goes both ways. But, yeah, that's a good point, though. Yeah, Deontay Spencer, nice catch on the punt. So, Reg.
So, Steve.
Wide receivers. So, we got some talented wide receivers on this team.
Yes.
Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, who has a hamstring injury. I don't think he's out there tonight still. He may be a while. Deshaun Hamilton, Tim Patrick, Deontay Spencer. What does this wide receiver group need to do to go from being great on paper to having it to where defenses fear them?
Steve, I'm going to say something that is so profound, it's going to sound stupid.
You've never done that before.
Nope, I never have. I'm about to for the first time. They need to create separation and catch the ball. Right? I mean, that's
both of them.
Right. That sounds so fundamental that it sounds stupid.
Hey, man, we need to stop the show, man. This is like earth-shattering.
Not since Einstein said E equals MC squared have you been so impressed by a formula for success. No, and the reality is, if you watch highlights, you watch NFL Network highlights on any given Sunday, and you watch the difference between completed passes and incomplete passes, there's no difference except the receiver caught the ball. Like, the defender draped all over him. Defender's hand is 2 inches away from that ball, but the great ones catch that ball, and the other ones don't catch it.
And they separate,
yeah, they create a little bit of separation and they catch the ball. And I know that sounds so basic, but that's what you see. You know, that's Demaryius Thomas when he was here. That's what I loved about Demaryius. It didn't matter how draped over him people were. I mean, Demaryius had a case of the drops on the easy passes. But when he was in tight coverage, he caught the ball, and that's what makes him a great quarterback. I feel the same way when I'm watching a basketball game. I can't tell the difference between a good shot and a bad shot, except that the good shots go in. Like, right? They go down the court.
The form looks the same, huh?
Yeah. The guy on the other end makes the same shot, and it doesn't go in. But the great ones, they make those shots. And I think as a wide receiving core, you have to develop this attitude about you. We catch every ball. Like, we just catch these balls. We go fetch these balls. We create separation. Nobody can cover us man to man. That's just not what we do. And when you have that kind of attitude, you become the wide receiving team that everybody fears.
But catching it is one thing, but also I think one of the things that can make them to where teams fear them is the run after the catch.
Yes.
And, you know, the ability to take a 20-yard catch and turn into a 60, 70-yard touchdown.
Right. Yeah, and he's like, you know, Cortland Sutton, to me, he's a Pro Bowl talent waiting to be a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
Right, and he's got a lot of ability, and I'm excited to see what he does this year. But yeah, it just comes down to you got to make these plays when the opportunity is there. You make the play. What makes Von Miller great? Well, yeah, he's got a great get off. He's got a lot of speed. He's got a lot of strength. But at some point, he just makes plays.
Yeah.
In key moments in the game, you make these plays. That's what makes you great. Cortland Sutton has that ability, and we've seen him make plays. And I think the other wide receivers, Jerry Jeudy, I'm really excited about him as well. These guys have a lot of ability, and it's profound. Catch the ball, get separation, and catch the ball.
I like it. I remember being in the huddle sometimes and just talking, hey, who gonna make the play?
Right.
Who gonna make it?
Right.
Is it gonna be you? Is it gonna be me?
Exactly. Right. I mean, I heard you tell the story about the hit on Christian Okoye, right? I mean, that was just Dennis Smith telling you, hey, one of us has got to hit him and knock him down.
Yeah.
And you took it personal. You said, oh, I guess I'm going to.
Well, he told me to. I got to do it.
I got to do it. And it's what is it about that? It's a decision. It is a desire to make that play. And at this level, you know, you think, well, of course, all these guys have desire. Yes, they do. They're all driven. They all have desire. They all have this intensity about them. But what separates, they're all at a professional level. the separation between the best and the worst is so tiny.
Yeah, because you wonder, some guys in college, they're just superstars. Then they come to the NFL, and it's like they're not even the same player. What happens in that time between when they go from college and when they step on the field for their first NFL game?
Yeah, I think that for a lot of players, it is the proximity to other talent. Like when you're in college, if you're a 10 and you're playing against a bunch of 7s and 8s, yeah, you shine all the time. You can outrun everybody all the time. You can overpower everybody all the time. Then you get to the pros and you're a 10 and you're playing against a bunch of 9.8s and other 10s, and all of a sudden the gap isn't so great, and it starts to affect your perception of how fast you are, how good you are. But this is where the great ones shine. It's like, you know, as much as I hate the New England Patriots.
You hate the Patriots?
I hate the New England Patriots. I have to acknowledge that they have a way of taking this much advantage and turning it into a 28-point lead. I mean, or this much advantage and turn it into a 10-point comeback at the end of the game to win the game. And you think, wait, this is a terrible game. Look, they're terrible. How are they even still in this game? They're down 17-10 with 5 minutes to go. They've hardly done anything on offense, yet here they go spinning up that magic, and it is a belief, it is a want to, and that's what the great players have. They just have this ability to turn it on.
Yeah, and they have to be in the system for a certain period of time, I think. I know when Mike Shanahan came and we won the Super Bowls, we were in the system. The second year, we went 13-3.
Yeah.
And we think we should have gone on and won that Super Bowl, but we didn't. But being in that system and everybody believing, having talent, was a big factor.
Yeah, it was, and thanks for bringing that up. That loss to Jacksonville was my last career game. Then you guys went and won a Super Bowl without me.
You didn't get a ring?
And then to prove that wasn't a fluke, you went and won a second one without me.
But I thought they sent you a ring, too.
Are you going to keep asking me if I got a ring?
You got the wedding ring.
Yeah, I got a wedding ring. That's the only ring I got.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's all right. You can wear mine.
That hurts. But yeah, you're right. It was Shanahan came in with a system, and the players believed in it. Right away, the players believed in it. It sounded like he knew what he was talking about. They went out on the field and tried it. We won.
But do all players believe what their coaches are saying?
No, they don't. They have to prove it.
When does a player not believe in the coaches?
You know what? A player, let's take Von Miller, for example, a guy with Von Miller's talent. If a coach was telling him, listen, Von, you're not going to be able to run around this guy and just make the sack like that. You've got to do this other thing. And Von says, well, I can run around this guy. So if his position coach was telling him that, he would stop believing that guy because he's like, no, my objective evidence tells me something different. Well, the players are on the field every day. They're running these plays. They're looking. They have some experience. When the coach tells them something and they say, yeah, that sounds interesting and that sounds right, and I believe that's going to help me, it helps them believe in the coach more and more. But sometimes the coach would tell them things that, yeah, I don't believe that. And then the coach really has to make them believers by forcing them to do it, and then they have to see the results of it happen. I think with Shanahan, when he came in, what he said made sense to us, and we tried it, and it worked. And he started winning. And so Fangio, what he's building with his team, it's only his second year, he's building that trust with the players that what his ideas and the other coaches' ideas will work.
Yeah, we're seeing Bradley Chubb on the sidelines there. I think he tweaked that knee a little bit. Coaches just being on the safe side, holding him out, but there's hope that he'll be ready to go next week.
Yeah. Bradley Chubb, the founder of Chubb Insurance. I'm so proud of him.
I wish.
I mean, I think they're managing $200 billion of assets. Bradley Chubb, just amazing.
Yeah. Great job, Bradley. He started all of that.
Yep. Is that Coach Fangio there? Was that?
Yeah, that was Coach
the back
Fangio.
Of Coach. Yep. So I know he's got to be excited, to start his second year and to kind of grow into what this opportunity is, and just to try to figure out, okay, what did we learn last year, and how do we take these young players that we have and grow them up a year? Drew doesn't have to become a superstar today, but can he grow up his sophomore year? Can he still show measurable improvement and his confidence and the confidence of all the players around him? And I think that's what Fangio's got to figure out.
Now, when you came to the team, John Elway, he was the starting quarterback.
Yeah.
And he had been there for several years when you got there.
Correct.
What do you think it would have been like going into an environment where you have a younger quarterback, just say quarterback's younger than you are on the roster? How do you humble yourself enough to, let him lead and listen and buy into what he's saying?
Well, when I got here, John Elway was a seasoned veteran, but still needed a lot of help with leadership. And so I took him under my wing and, helped him call the plays in the huddle and helped him with some of his audibles and things like that. And, it turned out okay for him.
He gave you credit for that, too.
Yeah, thank you. No, I think, it's a good point that if you're a seasoned veteran and you come and you're joining a team with a second-year quarterback, yeah, there's some trust that you have to put into this kid, but you can see his talent. And when you're on the field with him in practice and you see the talent that he has, it's like, okay, I get it. This is the guy. Now, it's my job to help build him up. It's my job to help protect him. It's my job to help him make the plays that he needs to make. And I trust that he's got the ability to make those plays. So as a wide receiver, I got to run this route right. I got to be ready because he can deliver that ball. As an offensive lineman, I got to protect this guy because he can deliver that ball. And everybody starts to rally around. I think the new talent can be more exciting than the established talent because you can see that you're helping to develop him.
At what point?
Oh, that's a touchdown.
It's like some.
They just scored a
tackle,
touchdown.
Just about.
That was a tackle.
At what point?
Cortland Sutton.
Should Drew Lock or quarterback in this position feel comfortable getting on other guys?
I'm not a big fan of necessarily getting on other guys. I think you got to be a long way.
I'm saying in a positive way.
I think you got to be a long way into your career. If Peyton Manning wanted to get on somebody, I think Drew Lock. I don't think so.
Did John ever get on you?
Are you suggesting that John had a reason to get on me for something?
You made all those blocks.
Every single one of them.
I'm gonna ask John.
Okay, ask him. Can't remember. You think he remembers what Reggie Rivers did on the field? I would be so flattered if you asked John and John was like, yeah, no, to the best of my memory, Reggie made all of his blocks except for that one block against Kansas City.
Oh. No, really. So he never got on you.
No, I know. And I think really that's the coach's job. I think really encouragement is the player's job.
Absolutely.
Encourage your teammates. Lift them up. Guy makes a mistake. Do you think he made it on purpose?
Right.
Is he trying to lose the game? Of course he's not. He's trying to do his best. Go lift him up because you need that guy to bounce back.
Well, what if it looks like a guy isn't giving it his all?
Guy's not giving his all. I still say a second-year player, even if he's the quarterback, I don't think he's the guy to do that. I think that you have a leadership group on your team of veteran players who that's their job. When
right.
somebody's not doing their work in the offseason workout program, it's their job to get on them. Somebody's loafing in practice during the season, it's their job. Somebody's goofing off when they shouldn't be, that's their job. I think your second-year quarterback, you stay in your lane a little bit. You take care of your house and don't get caught up with trying to be, George Patton. I'm gonna go give people lectures.
But he's trying to become the leader of this team too. And as the leader of the team, sometimes you have to. If a guy isn't giving it all, now you may not want to do it in front of the team. You may, hey, look, come on, man, you got to get better effort than that.
Yeah, I believe in servant leadership. Lead by example.
Yeah.
Lead. You show these guys you're willing to do anything for them. You're the first one out at practice. You're the last one to leave. You're the first one in the weight room. Lead that way.
Yeah.
I mean, when I got here to the Denver Broncos, when I went to the offseason workout program, you know who I saw there? I saw Steve Atwater.
Mm-hmm.
I saw John Elway. I saw, the guys who were the stars of the team and it was like, oh, okay, this is what we do.
That's how we do it.
Yeah. If I had gone and all I saw was guys like me who are trying to hustle to make the team, I would be there, but I would be like, oh, as soon as I make it, I don't need to be here anymore.
Good point.
And so really, I think leadership is about leading by example, and it's not rah-rah, it's not giving lectures, and I think the worst thing Drew Lock could try to do, it doesn't even seem like it's his personality to do that, is to try to start going and, hey, I'm going to put my finger in people's faces and try to get them fired up.
So who do you see as the leaders on the team? I mean, obviously Von Miller.
Yeah.
I would say Cortland Sutton.
Yeah.
In that role in his third year. Hey, Dalton Reisner, he's just in his second year. He and
Yeah.
Drew Lock were drafted second round last year.
Yeah, this is a young team. I think, depending on how things go, Melvin Gordon, what year is this for him? This is,
I want to say
fourth, fifth?
fifth or sixth.
Yeah, I mean, it might be him.
Yeah, sixth year.
Yeah.
Sixth.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, your playmakers are going to be your leaders. That's going to sort itself out on the field. Your playmakers are your leaders, but then, some of these guys who are young playmakers, they're going to be the leaders. They're going to be the ones who have to pick everybody up when, the game is out of reach or the season isn't looking good or something has happened. And that's really going to be the big test for our quarterback, and is how he responds to adversity. Big passing play, wide open. And so when you're in a scrimmage like this, if you're a fan of the offense, you look at that and you say, that is amazing, awesome. That was like a 40-yard touchdown pass.
Yes.
But if this is your team.
Yes.
You look at that defense and you're like, what happened? How does the guy, there was no one covering him.
That's a problem.
Yes.
But definitely offense happy. Tyree Cleveland got into the end zone.
Yep.
Like to see that. I know he's feeling good.
Right. Whenever you have these intra-squad scrimmages, you want all your successful plays to be tight plays. You want tight coverage and guy made a great catch.
Yes.
Tight coverage, great route, but a defender made a great interception. You don't want any of these easy plays are like red flags.
Yeah, everybody could have made that play. Jeremiah Adechu, he and Malik Reed both filling in some for Bradley Chubb while he's out. Which of those guys do you like the best?
Here, I don't know. I can't say because I haven't been watching training camp and I haven't watched these guys. I really don't know those two guys.
Okay.
That well.
Fair enough. And he's the bigger guy. He's the 6'3", more prototypical type. Malik Reed's a little shorter, but man, he's got a motor that's nonstop.
Yeah.
Both of them are going to contribute. We'll just have to see how it plays out. I'm not sure how the coaches see them and how they have them stacked.
Right. Yeah. Well, we had talked yesterday when we were chatting about this. You're talking about how the running backs. One of the questions was about how which offensive lineman creates the most problems for a running back.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that, and I was like, offensive linemen creating problems for running back? Well, when they don't block, it doesn't matter which one of them. That's a problem.
That's the problem.
Yeah, right. But really, it's the tackles, right? The tackles, they have the hardest job of the offensive line in that they've got wide defenders who are coming in. And as a running back, often you got to release out to the flat. And so you've got to get past this tackle without bumping him off. Sometimes you got to chip that defender, and you want to get you just want to chip him. You don't want to block him, right?
Sometimes you get too entangled with him.
You can make too much contact with him, and so you got your tackle in his kick slide, and you're trying to get out, and so it can be tricky. Tackles are tough.
Oh, man, got to make that play got outside of the corner on that play, and corner's got to contain.
Yeah.
You're out there all by yourself. You can't let the running back catch the ball to get outside of you.
You cannot, and that was a good move by the running back to get outside. That does not look like 80 players down there on the field, right? There's 22 on the field, and I would swear that it only looks like there's like 30 left on the sideline.
Yeah, they're from the 25 to the 25. They're spread out pretty good.
Okay.
Well, Reggie, man, this has been really fun.
Hey.
You are still entertaining, man.
Thank you.
Yes,
thank you.
And very football savvy.
Still entertaining.
Well, you've always been entertaining.
Well, I mean, I was a good player too, right? I wasn't just entertaining. I wasn't like the team clown.
No, I mean, a little bit. But no. You were a great teammate, and I appreciate your play on the field, and appreciate you joining me today.
Of course.
So, Reg, tell me what you're up to. I know you've written 5 books. Tell me a little bit about some of the books, man.
Sure. Well, I've written 6 books now.
6? Come on.
But the main thing I'm doing these days, I run a company called the Gala Team, and so we do big nonprofit fundraisers. We do the Children's Hospital event. We do Denver Health, Denver Public Schools, all of that. And so now
every charity event that I go to, you're there.
That's true. Yeah.
MC.
We do a lot of them.
Yes.
And so last year we did 118 of them, in
wow.
fact. And so that's what I do. And I feel like I found my purpose in life. It's really, it's very rewarding, raising money for these different charities who are doing great things. And the need is greater than ever right now because of COVID and the economy. If you want to know what's happened, what nonprofits are providing, you look at what's happening to the people. Right. And when you look at the number of people who are laid off and in lines at the food banks, the demands on nonprofits is high. And so this is very rewarding work to do.
Wow. So how can our viewers and listeners, how can they get in contact with you?
Sure. They can find me. It's easy. Thegalateam.com. GALA, thegalateam.com. You can find me, and that's where I am. And I'm doing other things, but that's what I'm most excited about.
Awesome. Hey, man. Well, thanks again, Reg.
Hey, you too, man. It's a pleasure.
Great stuff, man. Great seeing you. All right. Over to you, Phil. Oh, Matt, what am I talking about?
Thank you very much, Steve. Thank you, Reggie. Some great stories between two great friends right there all night long. Broncos Country, as we mentioned at the top, this is our final training camp practice. But if you want to catch up on anything that you might have missed during training camp so far, you can head to denverbroncos.com or our Denver Broncos social channels. Coach Fangio and a player to be determined will be at the podium, our virtual podium, following training camp today. And just because camp's over doesn't mean the great content stops. If you check out locally, Channel 20, KTVD, every night, 6:30 p.m., Broncos daily programming. It's the best in the business. We've got Broncos Beat on Mondays, Broncos Country tonight throughout the week, and then premiering next week, Broncos Weekend, our new show premiering next week, 1 week from tonight. Set your DVRs, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're out of market and can't watch on Channel 20. We know Broncos Country is worldwide, so subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the notification bell so you're notified when we post new videos. And that's going to do it for us, Broncos Country. A special thanks to our crew for killing it all training camp long. Special thanks to Reggie Rivers for joining us today. For Steve Atwater, Sidney Jones, Phil Milani, I'm Matt Boyer. Thank you so much for watching Broncos Country. And the next time we talk, it will be week 1 of the NFL 2020 regular season.
Training Camp Live, powered by Ford, has been brought to you by All Copy, Empower Retirement, King Supers, and FanDuel.